40 minutes. Let's find out as we jump into the draft four-way.
Thank you.
Into the draft.
Here with Axeman. Axe, Lucian B1.
Yeah, you already know it. Taking that one up, Ryan. Not expecting that whatsoever here. I believe the Zeri is still up, but that Lulu's going to get snatched up as well here. So it's his first pick, Lucian for the IU. And I guess he just wants this one a little bit more this go around. We'll see if B-Boy is able to get a Felios for himself.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's still up. The Zeri, Nami going to be locked in here. And look, at this point, I like paiN just grabbing Lulu and then Wukong for karaoke. He's really good on this champion and waiting until the third pick because there's no reason to, right? Zeri's not going to get snatched away. Now, it will get banned if you leave it to 4-5. There you go. So, Zeri Lulu with the Wukong going forward. A lot of dives so far in this composition. Yeah, let's see what they rounded out with. So far, pretty stock standard. Again, we've seen a lot of Annie in the mid lane, but the Lucian Nami, this is the first time we're seeing it all split.
Yeah, really spicy stuff, Brian. Puts a lot of pressure on IUNC in the early part of this game to perform as well. Maybe pressure that a new bot lane wouldn't necessarily want. I mean, this is the guy that we're talking about coming on the CBLOL stage as a support and playing Bel'Veth like it was absolutely nothing with all the confidence in the world. So I don't think he's going to have too big an issue with the pressure, but that's one heck of a crowd. You know you want to perform for those fans. Maestro knows what he's doing. And keeping him in line here a little bit. It is going to be Tuts on the Annie. I think that helps control the bot lane, control the bot side a little bit better as well there. So that is helping FURIA along as well. I do have FURIA predicted for this game. I know you said you think it's going to be a paiN stop. I can't help but disagree, man. FURIA Immortal, those are my guys.
This is not to slag off FURIA because I do think FURIA they're going to be a really good team. I think they're going to take time to develop. That is more just a vote of confidence in paiN. I think that this team is on a mission. I could see them rampaging through this regular split. Playoffs, different animal. We're not even going to have that conversation. But I don't know, man. I've just got this feeling. Call it vibes, call it spidey senses, call it, the CBLOL sauce. I don't know. But because it is a CBLOL sauce, I could be dead wrong. But I am decently confident about this one specifically. After a couple solo lane bans have come in from FURIA, defending Beto and Tuts, when out of the hands of Weiser, getting Dinketo off the Swain. Two very targeted picks here. We think they got up their sleeves here in the solo lanes, Axe.
Well, whatever it is, it's going to be CBLOL diff for sure. That's a Poppy coming through once again. Easily a much better pick than Robo's pick. You have a lot more dodges, a lot more dashes to block with Poppy here. So hopefully a better time so far for Beats Out than it was for Robo before. And Kindred, this would be CBLOL diff right here if we lock this one in for good. We picked up Lee Sin yesterday, so he's no stranger to it. Yeah, that's good stuff. There's the sauce we were looking for.
Wow. All right. I like this for Goot. I got to think a little bit more about kind of how it fits into the composition as a whole. But look, you've got push in your bottom lane, right? You got a very just high-powered bottom lane. You're gonna get. I think it's going to be what they can translate that into, whether it's in terms of marks, jungle pressure, early objectives, whatever. But Goot, when Viego was in the meta, I was a little sour on him because I wanted to see him be... Ooh, okay, Malphite left him on the other side. I was a little sour
Malphite's spicy too.
Yeah, because I thought Goot, he only had success on Viego. And once that got taken away from him, things kind of fell apart. Now, look, he's starting his third split. He's still a promising young player. People off the Rift speak very, very highly of this kid. They say he is disciplined, he is humble, he takes criticism very well. And in many ways, what we heard about FURIA is that, look, they like to develop young talent. Goot, I can't think of a better mascot for that. But this is a guy that has succeeded in the past with a lot of chips in his plate, with a lot of the carry potential on him. And with Kindred, he's got that.
He certainly has, and this is a very high damage composition he's put himself in as well. Lots of ability to be able to support IU as well with the Kindred there too. So they're putting a lot of eggs in IU's basket, but he's got plenty of damage to surround him. This might be the highest damage game actually we've had so far in the CBLOL this split, as there is not a lot of front line. It's the Malphite and the Poppy, and as we've been seeing, those two champions really like to build damage in the meta right now. So going to be all damage all the time. All the dive you mentioned as well, going towards both of these highly mobile carries.
Yeah, I think it rounds out the composition. Dia,
that's where I think Furia do have quite a bit to worry about, because while you have disengaged and spades on Poppy, the engage is a little bit lacking. I mean, Nami, Lucian, Annie, Kindred, Poppy. If you don't have flash on, I suppose, Annie or maybe Poppy, things are difficult to execute, and that's where 4x4, I'd say that Furia have a lot of trouble, because they have to be ahead in order for this kite back composition to really work well. If they're behind, they're just losing the fight anyways.
Yeah, and I think that the Kindred ult is going to be, again, this is a lot on Goot's plate. That is a high cooldown, game-changing ultimate that he's going to have to wield very, very effectively.
Well, let's find out how it all shakes down. We've got the Rift prepared for us, so paiN and Furia will take each other on for the first time this season. Axeman, take it away.
You already know what it is, folks at home. It's the bottom lane invade. We'll see from FURIA this side. See if they get anything on BBLOL here. The crowd certainly wants them to.
Oh, yeah.
IU going way up in the lane. Look at that.
Man. Yeah, IU and Zai, they find Pro Delta. IU, I think, started with that W. But both he and Tuts actually going first strike here. So that tells me that, look, while this composition can kite backwards, they want to be going forward. They want to essentially beat paiN to a dive. Uh-oh. Well, they might get beat into a pulp here. Dinkedo lurking there with the Gragas, but I don't think he's going to try anything.
The level 1 isn't super good for Zay in IU. It's much, much better for BBLOL. So you really want to start hitting your stride at level 2 with this Lucian Nami combination, and see if you can't get the leg up in this lane at that position there. But still, those first 3 levels are still very rough. The Zeri Lulu combination is extremely strong, and it's stronger than Lucian Nami at this point in the meta as well, pushing into the middle in the late game. So you want to be careful if you're IU and Zay, and of course, if you're Goot, you want to stack up these stacks as much as possible. Get your marks done, 4x4.
Yeah, and that's what, again, this bottom lane is so good at. This isn't really a kill lane. This isn't designed to just, you know, roll over the lane in terms of kills. This is designed to create pressure around other parts of the map, right? And you can get IU and Zai rolling. Yeah, sure, but this is about Goot right now in the early game. It's this 3-man triumvirate that's going to get you the lead that you need, because you pointed it out, there's not a lot of frontline here, right? I mean, this composition, unless they have bags of gold at their disposal in more extended fights, they're going to get rolled over.
Yeah, you will get rolled over, and that would be a difficult way to lose this contested matchup. This is one of the better matchups I feel we have today. 2 of the closer teams, in my opinion. But, I mean, we just watched paiN Gaming yesterday take down Loud like it was nothing. I say like it was nothing. It was kind of a close game, but here we go. Goot going. Yeah, close till it wasn't. Going in deep. He's going to try and find Karaoke. It's not a great 1v1 for the Kindred.
No, yeah, you got to be careful with Wukong. Just getting a little bit of vision here. Yeah, Goot just making sure that he knows exactly where his opponent is. And you can bet your bottom dollar that Karaoke is going to be tracking Goot as well, right? We haven't seen exactly where the marks are going to spawn, but like ships in the night, these two might pass each other, or they might collide like the Titanic and an iceberg. Goot finding Karaoke, throws out the Q and the W, and now both mid laners trying to get over there. Tuts is a level up on Dinkedo. Karaoke might take one more auto from Goot, vaulting forward. First blood onto the Kindred. Thank you very much.
They're looking for more.
In some trouble here. Goot wants it all. Want to get all the resources into their young jungler, but they bite off more than they could chew, and Dinkedo walks away with the second kill of the game.
Dinkedo with a little bit of gold here, but it will be Goot that picks up that first blood, just like you said, 4x4, and that really was the big prize here. He's coming back onto Summoners with 2 long swords, plenty of damage for the Kindred to start stacking up those marks that she wants so desperately. Teleport back into the lane from Tuts as well. And yeah, I'm going to call that a victory for FURIA. A little bit ahead for them here, and their jungler accelerated. Did Kindred pick up the mark for that play? I'm looking. I think so. Normally you want to keep your mark on the enemy jungler in the early game, so that should be 1 mark for Goot.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what he was doing, right? Obviously, you can get the marks from the objectives, but on kills, right? If you can select who you want, and it looked like Goot was, you know, very, very appropriate on the Kindred, the Lamb and the Wolf, just prowling, lurking, and got their prey. Yeah, took down Karaoke, but Dinkedo getting ahead here on this Gragas. Niketo been Mr. Stable. He's played a whole suite of champions. As far as mid laners are concerned, it was really him and Lava last split that played the most champions. Lava had 15 unique champions in 18 games. Niketo not too far behind with 11. On a paiN roster that last split had its ups and downs, to put it mildly. Niketo was solid as a rock. He took a lot of the responsibility, faced the press, faced the fans. And he's been
back.
Yeah, very, very stable.
Difficult
here.
position for him.
Man, who's invading who? He had the mark there on the Malphite. He was looking to maybe clear top or clear bot and go top. IU and Zai lurking up. Find anything though, but paiN in a little more control now.
Yeah, really nicely done here. A quiet start for the bottom lanes for both sides here. B-Boy going to start to force the issue at level 4 as he is tracking on Goot. But they lose tracking on Tutz. They'll have to back off, and things will defuse in the bottom lane once again. It's got to be the powder keg around this dragon. You don't want to give it to paiN Gaming for free. Dragon control has been so essential in the game so far.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it with IU and Zai playing this bottom lane. This has to be FURIA that is on
Goot's
these
over the
early
wall.
dragons.
He's got vision.
Let's see if Goot can
Come
find
on!
a smite at 600.
Oh!
No Karaoke outsmites Goot. And now in a world of hurt, Goot can do a ton of damage. But is it enough? Karaoke into a clone. ADC on support. Crime in the pit. Here come the mid laners. Tuds can't find anything on the B-Boy. B-Boy out.
Double
IU
kill!
with a double kill. And the support takes the third. 2 for 1 despite losing the dragon. FURIA on top.
Yeah, that's when in the game you hit all chat worth, right? IU with the double kill back-to-back. He's going to first the wave out, take the reset, buy some big boy items. We'll see it come through here in a second. That's a great play from FURIA. They stay in the lead 4x4. Predictions coming through, baby. Let's go.
For those of you that missed it, you can find it on the internet. I predicted paiN. I predicted paiN with a lot of confidence in this one. Axeman predicted FURIA with a little less confidence, admittedly, but no, this is looking really, really good. And Axeman, yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to IU and Zai salvaging that. I did not think that was going to go well. How about Zai roaming up on the Nami? But
it's a nice Nami.
Yeah, I thought that play was just curtains here. When Goot went over, I thought, is this man, like, he's taking a one-way trip? This is a bad idea.
Goot goes to the one-way trip, but that's always what the Kindred is about. You're always secondary to your primary marksman. He's going to try to go. Takes the heal from IU as well, but look at it. Look at the health bars for paiN, right? It's a smorgasbord for IU, and he's going to devour everything he wants there. Only one kill going over to his support, Nami, and that'll help him out too. Could have been a triple kill, though, 4x4. Holy moly.
Yeah, that would have been ugly. I think we would have been talking about that fight in even more glowing terms and even more disastrous terms for paiN to get 3 kills early.
He's got
on
an
that
item.
Lucian I was about to say.
What has he got?
What is that?
Serpent's Fang, is that what that is?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. You're trying to take down the shields, right? Cut through those shields that Zeri and Lulu are able to stack up with each other and deal bonus damage that way. Really interesting itemization from IU, who sees that he's getting this big injection of gold and says, hey, let's go reach for this item, and I can use this in our matchup.
That Serpent's Fang gives you that lethality, and like Axe said, you get a lot of value with the shielding, and why not? I mean, I imagine Niketo eventually will go for the Seraphs into the Archangels and get a big shield out of that. B-Boy's going to get a ton of shields from the Lulu, and to your point, Axe, that's really what you're worried about, right? In these extended fights, part of what makes this composition so deadly and the scaling so good is you can just outlast teams with the shield, and IU says, not today, I'm going to keep my foot on the gas.
Yeah, the foot is firmly on the gas here, 4x4. Goot down bot side as well. They're looking for the dive potentially. Should be Q over the wall here in a second. We'll see what happens. Karaoke is also here, though no one on FURIA has seen yet. Look for Goot's Q over the wall. That's their go button right now.
And he's got the Lamb's Respite as well, should things go sideways. But remember, that keeps everybody alive. That is a valuable ultimate. That and Bard. I mean, these two ultimates that you could think you're helping with, but you might be doing the exact opposite. But if there's anyone that FURIA will trust to pilot this champion, it's going to be their young star, Goot. He replaced Ranger last split and has not looked back. Ranger had a split on Los Grandes before they became, well, it was Flamengo Los Grandes, then it was officially Los Grandes. The Rangers found himself on a new team. Good has held onto this spot very, very tightly. Axeman, FURIA, 1,500 gold up.
They're
We
up.
said it during draft. I mean, look, if this composition wants to win, they've got to get ahead. And if
Oh,
the gold is
IU!
going to the exact right places, IU may be in a little bit of trouble here.
Okay.
B-Boy over
All
the
right.
wall.
Sorry, I'm freaking out, man. I don't want him to die. All right, so you stayed up for the time being. They'll go for the reset, and yeah, I think it's huge the lead they have right now. They're supposed to win through the early game, right? They're supposed to sack these objectives to be the next big thing. But Goot, he's just hit level 6. He needs some support up and around this top side. He's not going to get it from his bot lane. It has to come from the solo laners who are on reset right now. What can the Annie and the Poppy do? They have short legs, right? Is it about the legs?
Yeah, I mean, well, if it is, then we're going to be in trouble here.
They're in trouble.
Yeah. paiN rather, they've set up complete vision around this top side, but now moving over to the bot side, so they're going to force the issue on one or another. Both objectives up. You'd like to think they'd be traded. Zai, he's got to be careful. Came over again from Los Grandes last split. Rookie. There was the support to the MVP, Netuno, last split. And they got the laners rotating down here. Tuts. They want this dragon arm, or Axeman, excuse me. They want this dragon bad.
You got to start it up if you're good, but as much as you need to start it up, you need to break open one of these lanes as well. IU and Zay are way up in the lane right now. Perfect candidates to rotate over. But if you're IU, you have to hard carry this game, and you're just a few CS ahead of the boy, so you have to juggle the sunk costs, right?
Bubble not going to land. There goes the calling right into B-Boy. Tearing through those shields with the Serpent's Fang. Flash! Oh! Tuts is a monster on the Annie.
Oh!
Goot gonna pick up the kill. Tuts back-to-back. Really good game so far on the Annie.
That's how you do it. This is exactly what we're talking about, 4x4 Tuts. So good on the Annie, able to enable his bottom side of the map to control Summoner's Rift, and they're going to turn it into Dragon control. Goot's going to lock this one up. IU, Zay, they control the bottom lane as well. Nothing people can do. The engage!
Lightning crash down. The tidal wave is going to catch him, but the Polymorph Pro Delta just saved his 80 carry with one click of a button. Goot walks over the vision. He's got the mark on Dinquero. Maybe he goes for something here. They've got the Lamb's Respite, but with the bottom laners backing, they're going to cut their losses and just allow Zai and IU to soak up all that sweet turret plate gold.
Bro, you got this one. I'd like to see some action from B-Tal, but I understand. They're up on the island right now. I'd love to see some Rift Herald control. But once again, no bodies in the area means no objectives. Goot's running his way up there. They get the Poppy ult out. Not going to connect with anything. That was their way in, I think. And I don't think we'll see a Rift Herald contest. I think Karaoke takes this one down.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, Axe. I think if that ult connects onto somebody, then maybe Goot comes in and collapses. He's got that Trinity Force. That's part of what has made Kindred such a valuable pick. The buffs were shown earlier in the broadcast. This item is really strong. The passive that gives you that movement speed boost and the AD boost from 3 seconds going up to 5 seconds, get more attack speed, you get more AD. That has brought some champions back into the meta, and Kindred is one of the main benefactors. And yeah, with that crucial item spike, Goot recognizing, look, we can kind of win any 2v2 here. So if Baton landed that Keeper's Verdict, I think you're right, Axe. They were going with blood in their eyes towards that Rift Herald.
Exactly. And Zay and IU are doing a really good job of controlling the vision so far as well. That's part of controlling the map too. There's nothing you could do as B-Boy and Pro Delta to fight over this vision. You have to stay up under your turret, and now that turret is in the middle lane. B-Boy, really important, completes the Triforce here. So that's a big spike for the Zeri.
Yeah.
And no real spike coming through for IU until they complete the Gale Force. So it's a good time for B-Boy. Just keep in mind that Serpent's Fang is cutting through.
Oh, baby.
Shields. Yeah.
Tuts just drops
He's
everything
gone.
onto
He's just gone.
Dinquero. The dive continues. The TP is canceled. Yeah, Weiser wanted to get on down there, but Betel said, no, thank you, sir. He just goes right over the turret, and he might lose his life for it. But he stops the TP from Weiser. And how about FURIA? Axe? I was... Oh, he almost baited him. Oh, my goodness. I was so ready for Weiser to flash over the wall. I would have lost my mind. Yeah, that was a last-ditch effort if I've ever seen one.
Good stun.
Man, that's tough.
Wow,
But
but
B-Boy
B-Boy comes to get the kill. Wow.
appears out of nowhere and is able to grab himself his second kill of the game. Yeah, we haven't talked a ton about B-Boy, but I'm glad you brought up that, look, he finished his Triforce too at 4x4. You're talking about how big that's going to be for Goot. How about Zeri? Very, very scary with this Triforce.
Very, very scary, Zeri. B-Boy with the Triforce comes out, gets a free solo kill there too, and is now much, much accelerated off of that play as well. You got to start rotating this and converting into objective control, I think, is the next big hurdle for paiN Gaming as they continue to try to make the comeback in this game. Down 3,000 gold now, with a lot of that gold stacked directly onto IU. The CS numbers are there. The kills are there for the Lucian. It's looking like a really good pick. Honestly, IU not missing the Zeri too much shows that he's a really adaptive player and that he can do it on a lot of different champions. This is a guy who was playing support last split, and he's playing AD carries like this. So incredible.
Reached number 1 on the EU West solo queue ladder. 17 years old, born in 2005. Axeman, I don't know what that just did to your mental health, but I think that's the only time I'm going to repeat that statistic.
Never again, never again. Oh, man. Yeah, okay, 2005. Cool. Rift Herald here, up in the mid lane.
Let's talk about literally anything else.
Hey, there it goes into the mid lane turret. Unfortunately, there were no platings there for you, so just a little bit of damage on the turret. They will rotate down for this dragon up in 45 seconds. This will be the next big fight.
Baton level 11 now, dragon up in 35 seconds. Who's got his sights set on Pro Delta? He's come back with the Shirelias. Zai grabbed himself the Imperial Mandate. Everyone on their first big item spike except for the top laners. Tuts, he is so strong now, man, with that mythic item. And he's using Timber just on cooldown. Wiser with no TP. I think he's going to be late to this fight. That might be the window that FURIA need to start an objective up.
Yeah, just showing some dominance, right? And forcing the solo lanes back and out. Karaoke having to run away from Timbers now. He's going to fake the clone. Really nice stuff from there. Good mechanical play. But Dragon up. Goot has just full control. Look at every single member of FURIA. At all this jungle entrances, forcing everybody out, making sure nobody's getting anywhere close to this Dragon 4x4. That is map control. FURIA are doing so good this game.
Very well done. I'm very, very impressed, Axeman. I think this bodes well for what you can expect out of this team. Look, this game is far from over. You still got Zeri, Lulu, B-Boy, one of the best AD carries in this league. Wiser, with one Malphite ult, can change the entire timbre of a fight and therefore the game. Wiser is getting something done up on the top side. First turn of the game for paiN. They're on the board.
They sure are on the board. They'll take one down up on the top side, like you just said. Move that mid lane turret next, and honestly just trying to scale up, outscale that Lucian now. He's got the Gale Force in hand, so easier said than done as he becomes even more mobile.
Yeah,
but,
he's so strong. Yeah. I mean, with two items, right? IU is the center right now. This is Lucian's peak right now as far as a power spike. So they want to fight around him, and thankfully, I mean, not thankfully, but they haven't really had to because other things have started to go their way, right? That lead has been hovering at this 3,000 gold mark, 2,500 for a little bit now. No objectives really to fight over on the bottom side of the map. Let's see who gets that second Herald, if they even do fight for it.
Your biggest objective in this middle lane as IU is to try to get your culling onto B-Boy. That involves a number of different things. First, hitting the W onto B-Boy. Oh, Goot's here, really close proximity. And then the call coming out. He's not going to drop it there. They have objectives coming up. He wants a better shot. Yeah, but it does look exactly like that. You throw out the W, Nami's going to speed you up with an ability, and then you try and get as much of the culling on B-Boy as possible. Not necessarily to try and kill 4x4, but to just force her out of the lane so you can get additional scaling potential. It's on the Rift Herald now. This is why they held on to the culling.
I just think about, because when he says, like, oh, it's not necessarily to kill, and I say, well, yeah, because you're getting all the shielding from Pro Delta. But IU has a Serpent's Fang. Shields don't matter to him. This pickup, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I am, I think I got to think maybe a little bit more about what this does to him kind of as the game goes on, but this feels like an inspired pick into what's been such a menace of a bottom lane in the Zeri Lulu.
Absolutely, and he had the gold for it too, right? He got all those kills right at the start. If you got the gold for it to make a reach for an item like this, I think it's more than fine. I mean, you could probably just build this item without having that injection of gold, and it would be fine in this matchup too. You look at a lot of shields across different champions on the Rift here as well. So, you know, just into the Lulu, I think it's perfectly fine. It makes more sense to me. Oh, big flash in!
Wiser deletes IU! And the shutdown, even worse, Axe goes to B-Boy. Wiser sets it up. B-Boy knocks it down.
That's so much gold injected into this Zeri. She's already in 2 items. Gonna be able to come back on the Rift with tier 2 boots and components for a 3rd item. That's incredible value for B-Boy and for paiN Gaming. This completely changes the game for Y4. It's not the same game anymore. Both teams gonna be fighting over control of the Rift on equal footing now.
That unstoppable force, man, you can change the game with it. You know, that's one of the smarter things I've said as a play-by-play, so I think this is where I take my leave. I'm going to leave the call.
Hey, I got this one. Don't worry about it. You go ahead and take the rest of the day off. The Tail's going to collide with the mid lane. Sarah Tiver's going to come out to clear the wave, and they'll rotate up and threaten for a Baron play here. It looks like some resets coming through. This is just threatening positioning, I think. Maybe the top lane's hurt a little bit here as well, but nice little macro play from FURIA.
Yeah, they've evened themselves up in terms of the tower. The mid lane tier 1's traded over the last minute after Wiser ulting over the Raptor pit and right onto IU. He was the target, and B-Boy got all that gold. That's the most crucial thing. Wiser does not need that money. And in what's been a game of inches here, right? FURIA still ahead by about 1,500 gold. The objectives have been traded back and forth. Goot's impact has started to fall off a little bit, but he's still 5 of 6 as far as kill participation. And that gold graph tells the story. Little by little, Axe FURIA were working their way up, taking their advantages. Goot getting on the board. IU got what should have been a triple kill, but now it's starting to dip a little bit.
Starting to bring that gold back down into the paiN favored area. And once again, B-Boy in the center here. He's trying to avoid the culling. You got to dodge the W first. And now the window is over. Dragon is up. You need that culling for the objective. They'll rotate back down, sit in bushes, play through channels. They're trying to make the damage work for themselves. Now paiN, they have to push into this blind area, into the darkness, if they want to get onto that dragon. This would be the 3rd dragon for FURIA. You have to contest if you're paiN Gaming. You got to use these advantages that B-Boy has.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because, like you said, B-Boy does have those advantages, but they're walking in blind right now, and Tuts is just waiting, just holding everything like a powder keg about to explode. Every ultimate available for all 10 members. I thought that was Tibbers for a second, but no, it's just the grab. There goes Tibbers, and Karaoke has to burn flash and ult. Shirelli is popped defensively by Pro Delta. Oh, but Goot step almost too far forward. Didn't blow the Lamb's Respite. There goes the tidal wave into a choke point. The culling dumped into Wiser. The Serpent's Fang's not going to help you out a ton there. That lethality into a Malphite doesn't do much, but it gets them off the dragon, at least for now.
Dunkado trying to work his way in here. Karaoke has his work cut out for him. Teleporting as well. This will go over to FURIA. No fight on the back end either, I don't think. Yeah, there's just nothing for paiN Gaming to pull the health bars.
Oh! IU! Ooh!
Oh,
that was
my
fun.
Goodness. Oh, man. Yeah, IU almost picking one off there. That's a close one as well. Let's see if we can get a replay going here. I'd love to see that fight one more time. They almost just blew up Karaoke right at the top of that play, right? Yeah. With Tibbers. So able to force the jungler out right before the objective was a huge part of that fight, and it did keep paiN Gaming from engaging on the dragon. It's an easy 3rd dragon for FURIA.
And they've reasserted control of this game. Again, no kills taken, which seems wild because that felt like a very consequential fight, but the gold lead still only 1,500. Those Infernal Dragons are starting to stack up. It will be the soul in play in 5 minutes, so at about the 29-minute mark, there we go, math, or 28-minute mark, we know exactly where these 2 teams are going to be. You said paiN had to contest this one, and I think that they had every intention of before Tuts just Tibbers all over Karaoke, and they have every intention of doing so again in about 5 minutes.
They certainly do. I know I would. Anyway, Tibbers just coming out on cooldown when they can get it out, right? paiN will be the next threatened position here. It's got to be the Malphite for me. It's got to come from Unstoppable Force.
Oh my goodness, yeah, IU played very respectfully,
right there.
but he flashes away.
It.
Lightning crash down, IU with precision. Reaction timing, dumps the calling back out in response. 2 valuable ultimates down. Goot has not popped his yet. We'll see if he can get that game-changing ultimate. I have a feeling the fight's not over, Axeman. Tuts has the stun, he has Timbers, he drops it onto Weiser. He has a lot of armor, but not a lot of MR. Goot going forward as well.
Ooh, IU dashing forward.
Drop in the shield. IU doesn't need the ultimate to be a menace. The fight's on 2 fronts. And paiN looking like they will drop off here. A little tail between their legs. And now FURIA have wrested control over the top lane.
Incredible stuff from FURIA. I think I could try to dodge that Malphite ult, but like 1,000 times in a row and never dodge it. Not once. That was incredible reaction time and incredible mechanical ability from IU. There is no more Malphite ult. This will be the fight over the Baron.
Recall animation.
Break up for a little bit here. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm ready for the fight to explode. I mean, Weiser, man. Yeah, but you could tell. I mean, IU. Again, just I command, yes, the reaction time, but the presence of mind. Because I think off reaction time alone, you probably don't make that play. But if you're expecting it, right, then it's that little millisecond that is taken away. Because I think that was a flash ult from Weiser. You have to be expecting it. You have to know. And IU, again, I think the fact that he's playing on a certain side of the lane while CSing is not on accident. He's playing on that side very much on purpose. He knows. It happened to him once. You know, fool me once. Sorry, flash ult me once as Malphite, shame on me. Flash ult me twice, shame on me. I screwed that up. I tripped all over myself on that one.
No, okay. Flash ult me 3 times, shame on you. Yeah. That's how it goes, something like that. But no, I totally get it. At some point, you don't fall for the trick anymore, and you just dodge the ability. What else does paiN Gaming have to get onto this Lucia? I mean, you still got the Gragas going forward, the Wukong. These are tools you can use in your tool belt to get onto the Lucian, but it's so difficult. 4x4, it's so difficult. The Malphite is your biggest tool by far.
Well, the ult is back on cooldown. There's deja vu all over again. Weiser standing in the exact same spot. IU in the exact same side of the lane saying, no, I am not falling for that again. And after all that, we've been sitting at 6-6 at about 1,500 gold difference for what feels like forever. paiN just sending a minion wave down mid. They've turning their focus now to Baron. And they can potentially forego the Dragon Soul here, but there's 40 seconds still between them. Let's see what FURIA's response is.
They're going to try to get into the pit here. They don't have very many engage tools.
No, they really don't. I mean, you've got the Keeper's Verdict, and there that goes from Beto. He gets 2 out of there. That's a huge numbers advantage. Beto might have turned the game with 1 Poppy ultimate. The steadfast presence on the other side of the rift. And how about that? Thank you for the leash, says Goot. Oh, here comes Weiser out of nowhere. They get the Baron, but they are getting torn apart in the fight. Lamb's Respite brought out for Weiser, and Karaoke just shoved them out of the Kindred ultimate. How has no one died? Do my eyes deceive me? Tinketo finally goes down. Tuts with the Leandries, burns him down. Double kill for the Annie. paiN started the fight, but the shutdowns and the double kills come for the mid jungle of FURIA, and they walk away winners. 5-0. Baron is FURIA on top.
4x4, a double marksman comp is going to cut through these structures. They're going to force their way in. Poppy takes the reset, comes back out. Does have the teleport, can get back onto Summoner's Rift here. We'll see if they go for the Dragon. That's going to be Dragon Soul for them as well. See how far they push. Might just be the 1 turret before backing up onto the Dragon for that final objective for that Dragon Soul. But what a play from FURIA. IU, I gotta say it again, man. I die 1,000 times out of 1,000. On that situation, but somehow he escapes Weiser in spite of an incredible flank from the Malphite. I still can't believe that Vital was able to make this happen. Whacks Malphite away. Malphite's gonna teleport, I think? Yeah, he teleports back behind them. It's the best flank I have ever seen with this Malphite. Does it connect with IU? It does. It knocks him up. I don't know how IU made it out of this situation, but he somehow just blue suede shoes walked straight out and is able to re-engage and kill everybody on paiN Gaming.
He somehow stayed inside that Kindred ult. I want to look at that again and see what exactly, because IU just kind of got ping pong. He got shoved. Like someone was trying to shove him out of the Kindred ult because that was what was going to save him, right? Goop just reaction ulted immediately. And then I think Dinketo with a body slam just bopped him right back into it. Dinketo might have saved his life. I could have seen that incorrectly, but either way, there's a fight on the margins. What an ultimate from Beton to start that off, and what an ultimate from Goop to keep IU alive. And Tuts, man, 2-0-8 on this Addy. I know I can hear Trajan offset right now, just screaming for this man to buy a Medjai's, because that would be the only thing that would probably make him happier right now. But man, oh man, FURIA putting together quite the game.
Oh, they really are 4x4, and whatever it was with that Kindred ult, it must have been pixel perfect. And IU did everything he could to win that fight. An incredible effort from him. Of course, Bitao, just like you said, able to knock them out with the ultimate. So incredible. It has perhaps single-handedly won the game between those two players. The gold lead is wild, 8,000 gold. You got the Dragon Soul in your hands as well. You have the Baron empowered minions 4x4. There's nothing on Summoner's Rift right now that is working against FURIA. It is just paiN Gaming left to take down, and it's just their base left. Vitao's going to push up a little bit, and they're going to sit in the jungle, dance back and forth between these solo lanes, trying to get their waves crashed in so they can start working on these inhib turrets. This is the last chance for paiN. If they're going to fight, you have to fight here.
Looking for FURIA to just push up. They're counting on some inexperience to show and for them to maybe give up a little bit of ground. They were all waiting in that bush for the Wombo combo ultimate. Everything is up. And there goes Beton. He's forward, drops the steadfast presence. Wiser looking for it onto IU. He didn't even ult there. And Wiser sensing that something was up. Tuts, maybe in some trouble here. The ult's gonna go down onto him. Tibbers might not save him, but it'll buy him a little bit of time along with that stopwatch fight on two fronts. Lightning crash down, tidal wave out in response. Wide Karaoke has to ult himself out of there. There goes the calling. IU trying to get forward, almost gets it onto B-Boy. Instead, he will take his prize as the head of ProDelta falls into his lap.
ProDelta down. Now just 4v5 for paiN Gaming. They have to defend their base 4x4, but easier said than done.
Tuts is gonna TP forward. I'm not sure if that was BM or a misclick there, but Tuts teleports forward about 2 inches. Great, good job. I'm gonna think that was a flex because FURIA, you gotta be feeling yourselves right now. paiN, they dismantled Loud 1 day ago, and they're on the verge of what would be considered a huge upset right now. Unless, of course, Axeman, you were the ones that picked them.
Yeah, right. And yeah, I did pick these ones. I did predict FURIA, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Yeah, teleport forward to keep the minion alive so that the turret keeps hitting the minion instead of your teammates. But it was a flex. I don't think they had to do that. They have big health bars. So yeah, I think a little bit of a flex there is certainly warranted. No big objectives up for the next minute or so. Baron will spawn after that point, so both teams playing for that objective. 2 minutes until Elder, so that one's a bit on the back burner here. You can play slow if you're FURIA, but you're also so strong that you're looking for any opportunity to take down paiN, at which point that will end the game in your favor. So paiN, you got really narrow margins at this point. You got to play carefully, but also the window is closing.
4 dragons to 1, 12 kills to 6, 10,000 gold up off the 5-0 ace. The Baron push, Dinketo going over the wall. He's got B-Boy's damage, Everfrost down, stopwatch buys him time, but an ill-advised engage. Wiser too late with the TP. Karaoke says to heck with it. We're gonna die here, but we're not gonna die without a fight. They throw everything down, dragons away scot-free, and it goes exactly how you think. A fragmented, sloppy last-ditch engage means the coffin has been sealed. paiN taken down by FURIA.
Can't believe it, man. That was a shaky prediction from me. This is going to be a close matchup, and it always was going to be a close matchup, 4x4. But in spite of everything, FURIA take the day. Let's go, baby, IU!
Having a great day. Man, Axe, the 2 games we've been on, you have been all over the young AD carry talent, and they have come through. Runcie had himself a heck of a game on Fluxu, and how about IU? The major highlight from this past offseason. And Beton, look, these kids are just kind of, you know, they're saying, look, I think if you were to interview these guys, they'd say, look, we expect to be here. We didn't put this roster together just to be a selling team and see what happens next split. These guys are here to play, man.
They really are. That was a wonderful match from FURIA, and the turning points were so quick. It was on a dime. This game was decided. My favorite moment by far was just freaking out over Batal and his ability to really start off the Baron play, and then Goot keeping this one in FURIA's favor when paiN desperately tried to claw it back, Axeman.
100%, right? And I gotta apologize. My hair is crazy right now. I was jumping up and down a second ago. Yeah, so much fun, man. Top to bottom, watching Goot and IU in this double marksman composition. So much damage from these guys, but so much mechanical ability too, right? The dashes, the mechanics they're throwing together with the ultimate moves as well. It gives you so much hope for this region. With these up-and-coming players laying down the damage, being those carry roles as well. Tuts coming through with the veterancy for this roster, too. It's so exciting. You mentioned 4x4. I've been betting on young AD carries from Brazil recently. You'll never make a better bet than on a homegrown talent. It feels so good.
Tuts stalled out the game for a really long time yesterday as well, and it was exactly on this same pick. Annie has looked so good for this player in this split, and I think we can look forward to maybe some potential Annie bans later against Tuts, just because of how integral and how, there's a word I'm looking for, consistent he has been for the FURIA roster 4x4.
Yeah, he's done exactly his job, right? I mean, and he's taken it to another level, right? Because FURIA, they were on the back foot earlier in game one against Red. So he was having to make a lot of defensive plays. But here, he was on the front foot. He did more with the resources that he was given. And we said in draft that this composition needs to get ahead. But if they can get ahead, they can snowball. Beton turned into, he was a bit of an unsung hero. But like you said, Dia, that ultimate where he started out that Baron fight was just unbelievable, right? Because like Axe said in draft, this team does not have a lot of ways to start off fights, right? So unless you get a huge two-man Poppy ult, and this is what it resulted in. What you're seeing on your screen now is just paiN Gaming, just desperation, sloppy, choppy, fragmented engages. FURIA were in control of this game pretty much from minute one.
And by the time that finally we had paiN ready to step on the front foot, FURIA were already ahead. I actually want to take a look at the gold graphs, at the match stats from this past game to see exactly what that curve looked like, because actually just sitting here and watching the game, I didn't feel FURIA falling behind at really any point, even through some of those early game falters 4x4.
Yeah, no, like I said, they felt pretty much in control. A lot of objectives went their way. The Dragon stacking, they did a very good job, especially late. There's at one point you see her on the 20-minute mark. paiN Gaming pulled it back, but to your point, it never felt like they lost control. It got a little wobbly there, and that's where I thought in my prediction, I predicted paiN in this one. I thought, look, this is where just the veterancy is going to come through. Their composition is a little easier to execute, right? The Wiser with the Malphite ult is an absolute game changer. But respect to IU, he learned. He got caught once. He said, never again. I'm going to play around this because I know that's the only way that they're going to reach me.
30,000 damage on Annie. Pretty scary as well. There is no question that there was pressure applied to Bvoy, and that was a question that I had coming into this game, Axeman, was whether we'd actually be able to shut down Bvoy. That was where Loud fell short just yesterday, and this time FURIA absolutely stepped up to the plate, even without those engage options so clearly defined.
Certainly, Dia. If anything, it turned into the situation where Bvoy had to shut down IU, right? IU picking up that near triple kill right at the start of the game with that big dragon play. All of a sudden, we were looking for how do we kill this guy on Lucian, right? He's so strong with the Serpent's Fang, and Bvoy actually did get the shutdown on IU, if you remember, in the mid lane play off of the Malphite ultimate. And we thought, hey, maybe this is what turns the game around, but it was not to be. IU is just too strong mechanically, man. I can't say enough about him. A Tuts with a crazy ultimate. So we see the damage down at the bottom of your screen there. 30,000 damage? To who? The enemy champions? How many enemy champions are there? It can't be that many.
That's just a lot of Tibbers dropped on a lot of people, but with so many strong candidates, I can't wait to find out who our MVP selected by the Portuguese broadcast was. So let's bring it up and find out who was deserving of that top spot. 4x4,
There we go.
walks away with it.
No, that's fair enough, and I think like you didn't always see it kind of in the team fights as much, but there was like, you know, when paiN started to wrestle control back in their favor, there was one fight where Tuts, I mean, I just every time I looked up or, you know, looked up at the screen or down at the minimap, I saw the little Annie icon just hanging out in a tri-brush being like, I did this twice. Watch me do it again. And then just take someone out of the fight completely. Even wiser at certain points, which is ridiculous because that's a Malphite. You shouldn't be able to chew through him like that, but he built a ton of early armor. But Tuts grabbed himself the Shadow Flame as well, early paiN. He was fantastic. He made a lot of those fights so much easier with exactly what you're supposed to do on this champion. That is self-aware, good play on an Annie. I know I am here to do one thing, delete champions, and then whatever happens after that, devil may care. Whatever, you take over, right?
Yeah.
Early paiN was the name of the game in terms of itemization as well. You talked about it with Tuts, but we also highlighted it when talking about IU with the early Serpent's Fang pickup, and it was just all into the basket of early game. There was no insurance policy that we saw for FURIA. It was just, well, we're going to win, and we're going to win now because who cares about the future? We've got this advantage, and I like that mentality that they brought with them, Axeman, because in CBLOL, you can't afford to doubt yourself.
100%. I think I was so worried when this roster lost FMB that it had lost a part of its soul that it wouldn't be able to get back, which was this kind of furious, always forward, so much damage, carry potential that they were getting from that top laner. And no, they still got it. They absolutely still have that exact same soul, that exact same flavor, and it has not gone anywhere. So enormously proud of this roster, able to live up to FURIA's name and to keep playing the way that they have been for so long.
One of the moments that really illustrated that tenacity as well was the Baron fight that you and I were geeking out about earlier. Let's take a look back at it, because this is where a lot of players get their highlight. Batal, obviously, knocking people out of the Baron pit to just let FURIA waltz in and take it, critically eliminating Carioca. But when Wiser initiated the flash away from Zay, the instant Lamb's respite from Goot as well, it keeps FURIA in the fight for long enough to turn things around in the choke point. And 4x4, we had these individual micro moments, even with juggling Bivoy, that kept everyone on paiN from being able to effectively play this out.
Yeah, and I got a couple points I want to hit here. I'm gonna try to do my best. When you draft an early game composition that can't team fight front to back, you have to get creative, right? Just because you're ahead doesn't mean you can just ram your head into the wall over and over again. You got to get a little creative. Bam, there goes Baton, creates a numbers advantage. But what Wiser does immediately, he TPs onto a deep ward. He says, look, we lost the Baron, but a Baron, if you don't survive, is nothing. Bam, he goes in. Dinketo in with the body slam. He body slams IU forward, and then with the explosive cast, knocked him right back. Kept him in the Lamb's respite, kept him in the ultimate. And look, that's not Dinketo inting. That's just tough. But like you said, the fight was stalled to the point where IU could turn it around, and Tuts with another huge ultimate with the Leandries as well. Really good itemization. Was able to just shred through the front line that paiN wanted to put out there.
Yeah, there's a great moment in this fight, too. I just got to say this. Right after Bivoy ults, and he's about to kill everybody. He's about to jump forward and kill everybody. Beatao just slams him into the wall with his E. And it's such this unsung moment of like, oh my gosh, Bivoy was about to get a pentakill. And then the Poppy that hadn't done anything except that ult all game just stunned him and took it all away in just this fraction of a moment. It's so cool. Such a cool play.
Yeah, we had a lot of highlights in this game, and we've got one more game to look forward to. But before that, we're going to jump to a quick break before we're back.